I cannot believe they sell something like this. Like, what are you even supposed to do with it? Finger condoms. Hey. If you're into PC gaming, then you are almost certainly aware of Razer. Now, they actually have a longer history than you might expect. Back in 1999, they released their first product, a gaming mouse known as the Boom Sling 1000. As you might imagine with an interesting name like that. Razer didn't exactly light the gaming world on fire, and in 2005, the company was actually relaunched as the Razer that we know today. In 2021, Razer's now become one of the biggest players in the gaming industry. Mainstream companies such as Asus and Gigabyte now have sub-brands known as ROG or Aorus, and they're entirely designed to reach that hardcore gaming audience. Meanwhile, Razer has played the Uno reverse card, and they've decided to be the gaming brand determined to break into the mainstream. And they've done that in some, let's say, interesting ways. Do you remember Project Breadwinner? Because I sure don't. I mean, I know that they've added the April Fools to this, but like, bread to win. 'Tis the season to be OP. Man, the marketing team that Razer is employing for the puns is getting paid too much. Razer Gold and Silver coins. Is that a NFT? Wait, did you guys know that Razer is trying to muscle dbrand out of the market? They sell Razer skins. $60 for if I want the Mercury skin. Razer also sell smart glasses. Now, this was actually an item from Mystery Tech that I have experienced first face on. It wasn't hands on, it was a face on. I'm gonna admit, I'm usually a fairly decent fan of Razer stuff. Like, most of the stuff is pretty good. These were not good. Here we go. This is the one that I think a lot of people know, that mask, the Razer Zephyr. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I wanna try one of these things, but like, God, look at this, look at this. I'm literally, look at all the things, chairs, wearables, apparels, bags, gear, masks, Sneaky Snake, Respawn, collabs, book, Mac. I feel like I can make an entire video just reacting to Razer stuff. Like, what is this? The reusable straw. Hashtag straws suck, but this one doesn't. Oh, this is interesting. So it's like a boom mic, but it's on a in-ear headset? I mean, that's kind of cool. How much is this? $100. All right, you know what? That's a product I can kind of get behind. And the thing is, Razer sell tons of other stuff. Like, they sell tons of PC components too. Like, they just announced they're doing like power supplies. They've been selling cases for a while. Like, the size, the breadth of the different amount of products that Razer sells, it's huge. Like, it's probably too much, right? Like, I'm not exactly expert at running a hardware company, but I feel like it's probably very expensive to support this many SKUs, this many actual products. This video is sponsored by Cometeer. Boy oh boy have I been drinking a whole lot more coffee recently, and Cometeer has been an absolute lifesaver. Most self-made coffee requires setup, brewing, and cleanup, which for me is just way too much time to spend. Cometeer isn't like other coffee. They grind and brew barista quality coffee, then flash freeze it to lock in the freshness to provide a delicious experience. Cometeer also partners with the best specialty roasters to quickly make delicious coffees and lattes from different regions all over the world. Just add 8 ounces of hot water with the capsule, or add cold water for an iced coffee. Add milk and you've got yourself a latte. Hey, hey! For a limited time, Cometeer has a special offer for y'all. Right now, you can get $20 off your first purchase by using my link in the description. That is 10 free capsules of coffee and always free shipping. So what are you waiting for? Check out the link in the description, and a huge thank you to Cometeer for sponsoring this video. So look, Razer products might be weird, but does that necessarily make them bad? That is a complicated question. If you're thinking about a gaming laptop, sure, yeah, it's probably pretty good. But how about a Razer chair, or Razer plushies, or clothes, or straws? I mean, with Razer, they really want to expand the brand, which makes sense. When you see Apple, you know what you're getting. When you see the Supreme logo, you know what you're getting. When you see the 3-pointed star for Mercedes, you know what you're getting. But when you think about gaming, Razer wants you to think Razer. Just like how watching this video should make you think about subscribing and ringling the ding-a-ling button. Bell, sorry. I consider Razer to be a lot like high-end car brands. Ask someone who owns a luxury car what they drive, and they probably won't tell you it's a GLE 53 4MATIC Plus. No, they're gonna tell you they drive a Mercedes. Razer wants and has mostly achieved being seen in the same way. Odds are if you ask a gamer what accessories they use, they'll simply respond Razer, not the Huntsman Elite TKL 9000. Although if you use a TKL board, you're probably thrilled if someone finally asked you about it. Finally, I can tell you about my 10 keyless custom lube switches. Yay! Then this doesn't mean that Razer doesn't also share some other luxury car DNA, being unreliable. Oh, sorry, I need some Common coffee to wash that down. But to some people, that's the price they'll pay to have what they consider to be the best. But the question is, can Razer make things the way that luxury car brands do? Now, if you're a Mercedes, you make everything yourself. The engine, the transmission, the interior, the infotainment system, I mean, you name it. These are bespoke, incredibly expensive components to develop. A clean sheet modern engine can cost upwards of $1 billion to develop, test, and produce. Now, while Razer certainly has a history of developing a lot of innovative tech, it is on a far smaller scale, which means that the differentiation is a lot harder. There's no AMD or Intel for engines, right? Car companies have to make these things themselves, but in the PC side of things, pretty much everyone pulls from that same pool of parts. Now, some differentiation, such as when Razer was the first to market with that 120Hz display on the Razer phone, that's cool. But the thing is, Sharp had that exact same display in a phone the same year, and a couple of years later, ROG one-upped them with a much better AMOLED 120Hz display. I mean, in this space, unless you have absolute piles of money, there just simply isn't the room for true differentiation. Speaking of piles of money, Apple. They really are the only tech company in the space that can truly make different products. And that's because Timmy Cook's got that bank. They've developed a huge swath of their own tech in a way that Razer just simply can't match. Think about it like this, right? Apple develops all of their own software. They design the chips that go inside their laptops, and they have the scale that if they want some weird specialty screen with a notch, they don't have to go and ask for a purchase order. They can buy the whole factory and it's completely fine. Meanwhile, Razer is just not on that same level. I mean, they rely on Microsoft for the software, being Windows. They need AMD or Intel or Nvidia to make the chips. And while yes, a lot of times they do share some of the same manufacturing companies like Qantas or Foxconn that Apple might use, it is on a completely different scale. And the simple truth is, Razer, as well as pretty much everyone else who's not Apple in the PC industry, have basically the exact same resources to work with. When Intel has that new chip, everyone's gonna get it at the same time. When Nvidia has a new embargo, guess what? Everyone's gonna launch it exactly at that embargo because they just don't have the control over the entire ecosystem that a company like Apple does. And it's simply because Razer's nowhere near the same size. But when you're trying to compete and you want your name to be synonymous with gaming the same way that the creative life is all about being, Apple this and Apple that, it's like bringing a knife to a gunfight or a knife to a nuke fight, probably.
Or a Razer.
Oh God. All this is really why I come back to the real value in Razer being the brand. With that same part spin as everyone else, Razer really has invested in some of the things that they can differentiate themselves in, which is really in the process and the actual touch and feel of the products. I mean, think about something like the incredibly expensive and time-consuming aluminum CNC milling and anodization, which is really what delivers one of the signature features of Razer laptops, the smooth, thin, and sturdy chassis. While most competitors are probably spending a few dollars per laptop on like some multi-piece plastic and metal components, instead, I know for a fact that Apple spends many times that for every Blade laptop that runs off the assembly line. Look, when you touch and hold a Razer laptop, it feels nice. Just the same way that when you touch and hold a MacBook, it feels great. And nothing against, the Zephyrus G14, which I think is an excellent laptop, one of the best gaming laptops out there. It doesn't quite have that same sort of feel in the hand.
It feels quality.
Yeah.
Whether or not you think it performs that well is another story.
And look, we've had problems in the past, right? Like Razer's always, even though their devices have always felt good, we've had Razer laptops die on us. We've had batteries die. We've had like straight just boards just stop working and stuff. If you're at the store and you look at the sort of the look and feel of a product, it is hugely important to that perceived quality of the product. Razer also doesn't dirty up their designs with like tons of extra stickers and like full HD 144 Hertz or whatever that you see on most other brands. And yeah, this is a gaming laptop, but outside of the logo, it's just a black, plain, very thin and simple looking device.
People want a MacBook on the Windows side, let's just be real.
So, is Razer worth it? I mean, yeah. Razer's like the upper middle class of gaming hardware. If you're looking for the best bang for your buck, you should probably look elsewhere. And likewise, if you want the absolute best keyboard or gaming PC around, you're going to want to build that yourself anyway. It's easy to forget as enthusiasts that most people don't care about the extremes, right? They just want something that's nice and that just works and that gives them some style and gives them some performance. And for that market, Razer, I do believe, delivers pretty solid, slightly expensive products. They're well designed and they work well together. Brands like Apple and Gucci are built on this idea that when you buy their products, you're buying into the brand as well. And I think Razer's well on the way to getting there, but it's not as easy, I think, because they have so much competition out there. So I'm very curious. Let me know in the comments below, is your next laptop going to be sporting 3 green snakes on the lid? Or your next chair, or straw, or mask, or mouse pad, or headset, or toaster, or tablet, or phone case, or phone skin, or monitor? Speakers? We went through like one of the categories. There's like 7 more. So